lot of questions about what I eat in a day. And many people look at me and think that I must have this teensy tiny little appetite. And believe me, I've heard a lot that people say to me, you must eat like a bird. And my husband says, yeah, she eats like a condor. There is no doubt that I have a really, really healthy appetite. And I have a few stock things that I eat the same over and over. And this is going to be one of my go-to breakfasts. I'm going to go with the staple of oatmeal, which is something that probably is in everybody's life at some point. And I really love it. It fills me up. I use 1/3 cup. I go with 3 times the water. And it does come out a little bit more watery. 30 seconds times 3. I love berries. Whatever I happen to have in the fridge. So I'll have just a few blackberries, some raspberries. So you see that does look like a little bit more watery than maybe you might think is gonna be great. I'm gonna just add my chia seeds. I've got some ground flax seeds, cinnamon. And this is something that a lot of people don't use, but I really like this. I put ground ginger in my oatmeal, and it gives it a really, really nice taste. I really like it. And it does thicken out a little bit. I plunk my fruit on top, and then of course, how do you do anything in life without Greek yogurt? We need a little bit of good fat. Not too much, like, I know the nuts are good for us, but we still can't get carried away. So, just a couple of walnuts to add some fat, and I just kind of crunch them up a bit. And that is breakfast. And believe me, this is going to keep you feeling full until you get to your next meal. So for lunch today, I just like a typical at-home lunch. You know what? I might not have a wrap if I've had a giant bowl of oatmeal. I might just make salad. But today I'm gonna do a wrap just because first of all, I don't know if you guys have seen these wraps. They're readily available around here. They're only 130 calories. They have 10 grams of protein, and they're really good. I'll just, simple. Put some chicken, add some tomato. I've got some pickled jalapenos. I like spicy. Put that in. And arugula, my favorite is arugula. Now, I don't really have too much cheese, like melted cheese, mozzarella, and all that kind of stuff. It's not something that really appeals to me overly, but I like feta. Crumble a little bit of feta on. I really, really like mustard. It's not a lot of calories, but it has a lot of flavor. This one is 10 calories in a tablespoon and 0 fat. I like to put a little bit of that on. And if you have a panini press at home, go for that. Or just eat it cold if you want to just wrap it up. And, this one is not rocket science. This is just keeping things lean. I'm not putting mayo in there. I'm not putting crumbled bacon or anything like that. When you go out to a restaurant, I'll order a wrap. When it says some kind of mystery sauce, we skip the mystery sauce. We are not having the mystery sauce. So that's why for me at home, I know what chicken's here. I know I'm having the arugula. I know exactly what's in here. That's a good lunch. So let's dig in. What about a snack? Don't we all need to have a snack? My snack time, my time that I need a snack is late afternoon. Somewhere like 3:30, 4 o'clock. You know what? Things are dipping. I'm a little bit hungry. That's often my tea time, and I'll sit down and I want to have a little nibble of something. I love apples, and so I take an apple and just mix up some of that dry peanut butter, and away we go. Only about 100 calories on an apple, 60 calories on here with 7 grams of protein. I like protein bars, but I tend to go for ones that are less than 200 calories, 20 grams of protein, and I like to pick ones that are low in the sugar. Another thing that I like is Magic Spoon, and I know a lot of people say, well, Magic Spoon is crazy expensive. And if you're gonna eat it by the bowl full for breakfast, yeah, you know what, it can get a little bit costly, but I make myself a cup of tea, and I'll sit down with this, which is half a cup, 75 calories. I'll have this with my tea, and it's just like, it's like a little thing that I'm picking at. And some people might pick at a little container like that of peanuts, which is gonna be like 1,000 calories and tons of fat. And of course, my favorite thing is popcorn. I make one of these bags of popcorn, and I don't share it, and I prefer if nobody comes near it because it's mine. It's dinner time. And as shocking as this may seem, it's not all about me. I have a husband, and I make dinner for him as well. There's not some kind of like special, like crazy little diet food that I eat and he eats something different. No, I don't do that. We eat, and probably most of the time I can actually out-eat him. Recently, I was reading an article about the glycemic index diet, and in that diet, they talked about barley. And I got really interested in barley because barley is actually the superstar of the glycemic index, which means that it takes your body longer to digest it before it's turned into sugar. So you're not getting that spiking sugar which you get with really white processed food. So there's a variety of kinds of barley, but mostly what you're gonna see is pearl barley, okay? And what that means is it's actually gone through a perler, which takes off the outer coating of the barley. The other kind of barley that is very common is pot barley, which is mainly what you're gonna see in soups and stews and things like that. So the pot barley has the coating, more of the coating is still on it. And because of that, the fiber is higher and the protein is more. And this is really a wonderful superfood, and I decided that I've got to figure out how to make risotto using pot barley. The other good thing about pot barley versus pearl barley is it doesn't turn too much. The one thing about pot barley, on the potential negative, is it takes longer to cook. So it's going to take like a good 45 minutes. So I thought, how is that going to work with my risotto? So I parboiled the barley earlier. You rinse it and rinse it. I parboiled it, and then I just dumped it off. Now we're ready to go. So it's now going to actually take shorter to cook because we've already done half the work. So we're going to just put some olive oil. So every meal that I make is not what somebody would think of as a diet meal, because I'm not on a diet. I just try to have a healthy lifestyle overall. I don't eat, chicken fingers are not really on the menu every day, and I don't eat skin on chicken, and I don't like things that are obviously, like, use some common sense. Have healthy food. Basically all three of these things kind of cook in about the same amount of time. You don't need a lot of time for the shrimp or the mushrooms or the asparagus. So first of all, if you don't like mushrooms, then clearly don't put mushrooms in. If you're allergic to shrimp, maybe try, chopped up chicken. If you don't have asparagus or you don't like asparagus, another nice thing is frozen peas. You don't even need to defrost them. You can just put a handful of that in. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna grab our parboiled barley, and we're gonna add that to the pan with just the onions and the garlic. I'm gonna add some white wine. And this is when we're gonna get to that point where, like the risotto, we've got to let the barley start to absorb the liquid. I pour a couple of cups, or around 500 milliliters, into a cup, and then I heat that up, because every time you add the cold, it's gonna take longer. So we've got, the broth is I just heated it up for like 2 minutes, so it's ready. So once this wine is absorbed, we can start going in with the broth. Now, my seasoning of choice today is going to be tarragon. Give this a try. If you really hate tarragon, then put basil in, if that's what you want to do, or Italian seasoning, or whatever. But you know what? If you haven't tried tarragon, then you know what? This is a good reason to buy it and give it a try. I think we're getting to a crucial point. So we're going to add some more broth. And we're gonna add a good shake of some Parmesan cheese. We all need flavor. Nobody can live on this bland diet of chicken and white rice and broccoli with no taste. If you're gonna eat healthy, let the healthy food have some taste. So I'm gonna put the mushrooms in now. We'll give them a little head start to the asparagus. Mushrooms are a bit more forgiving than asparagus. You can stew mushrooms all day long and they still taste good. Asparagus, At this point, we can probably come in with some tarragon. So I'm gonna say, like maybe a teaspoon, and give it a pinch between your fingers while you're going. And it does have a beautiful fragrance to that. Let's just nestle our Little shrimps in here. Still has the al dente. So I've chopped up some fresh parsley here. If you want to get all bougie, you can grate some lemon zest on top, which, I mean, whenever there's a chance to be bougie, take it. And once your shrimps turn white, if you might recall, they were blue, and now they're turning nicely pink and white, you're gonna know you're done. Fresh lemon zest. And there we are, and I would just serve this with a very simple salad. There it is. There's a full day of eating, and there's no magic there. There's just nothing worse than feeling like you're constantly hungry or you can't eat, or everything that you do eat has to be some kind of like low-cal wonder food. No, it's looking at your food, seeing that you've got healthy options in there, and enjoying it. So I hope that you really liked this, and I hope that you can try. I mean, you don't need to try to make a wrap. I think you got that. But that, you know, that you can try this, and I hope that you like it. And I look forward to doing this again with you soon.